acting presiding officer, now calls the 5th regular session of the 14th Sangguniang Panlungsod to order. Please sit down for the roll call.
Honorable Cecilia B. Veluz, the CCT Vice Mayor and Presiding Officer on official business. Honorable Jesse R. Albio, City Councilor and Acting Presiding Officer, present. Honorable Joselito S. Del Rosario, City Councilor, present. Honorable Gil G. Rosales, City Councilor, absent. Honorable Melvin Ramon G. Buenafe, City Councilor, present. Honorable Hilda Gail R. Abunal, City Councilor, present. Honorable Jose C. Ranyola, City Councilor, present. Honorable Jose B. Perez, City Councilor, present. Honorable Salvador M. Del Castillo, City Councilor, present. Honorable Antonio B. Beltran, City Councilor, present. Honorable Maria Corazon M. Peñaflor, Liga ng mga Barangay President and ex-officio member, present. And Honorable Mary Kyle Francine B. Tripulca, Sangguniang Kabataan Federation President and ex-officio member, absent. Mr. Chairman, there's a quorum.
Yes, Honorable Vidal Castillo.
Ay, may... Apologies, Honorable Vidal Castillo. Honorable Vidal Castillo, present.
We'd like to acknowledge the Honorable Vidal Castillo as present. Also acknowledge the Honorable Gil Rosales. Next item, please.
Prayer.
In the name of the Father, of the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, as we deliberate in today's session, give us the wisdom to overcome passion.
Give us the wisdom to overcome passion.
Give us that understanding heart to do away with prejudice.
Give us that understanding heart to do away with prejudice.
Give us the foresight to know what the future may devise.
Give us the foresight to know what the future may devise.
Give us the courage and the strength to seek the truth and what is good.
Give us the courage and strength to seek the truth and what is good.
Give us the facility of language that we may be understood.
Give us the facility of language that we may be understood.
And finally, our Lord,
make
us worthy public servant of the city.
Make us worthy public servants of the city.
We deeply love and highly honor Naga City, the heart of Bicol. Amen.
Next item.
Pambansang awit.
Good morning. Next item, please.
Privilege time.
Anybody who wishes to avail of the privilege time? Hearing none. Next item, please.
Reading approval of the order of business.
The Honorable Salvador Del Castillo,
Mr.
Chair of the
Presiding
Committee on
Officer,
Rules.
I move to dispense with the reading of the order of business and move for the inclusion of the following items. I hope the Honorable Castillo will not object for the inclusion of his report. So the committee report of the Committee on Infrastructure under unfinished business, together with the committee report of the Committee on Transport, and under new business, Mr. Presiding Officer, the letter coming from the Punong Barangay of Pacol, with regards to the operation of the satellite market in that barangay. Still under new business, Mr. Presiding Officer, the letter coming from the chairperson of the Bids and Awards Committee requesting for the passage of an ordinance reverting a certain amount for supplies and expenses of the Bids and Awards Committee. And last item, Mr. Chair, under new business, is the letter coming from the City Budget Officer requesting for the reversion of passage of an ordinance authorizing the charging to current appropriation of the amount of 31,964 pesos and 5 centavos to cover the salary differential of certain employees of the City Government of Naga. So with the inclusion, Mr. Presiding Officer, I move for the approval of the order of business.
Yes, Honorable Del Rosario.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to, with the indulgence of the Committee on Rules, I'd like to propose a resolution designating the chair of the Committee on Peace and Order, Public Safety, to be a member of the People's Law Enforcement Board, a special body under the DILG circular. The head of the Committee on Public Safety sits as a member of the People's Law Enforcement Board.
Honorable Del Rosario. Honorable Del Castillo, please.
Under what?
Under the special business of order, Mr. Chair.
Under special business of order, a resolution designating the chair of the Peace and Order Council as
Peace and Order
member of the
Peace and Order,
People's Law Enforcement Board.
Peace and Order Committee Chair.
Okay. And another item, Mr. Chairman, under unfinished business, I noticed that under our rules of procedure, the submission of all matters pertaining to the calendar of our business for the next regular session, the deadline was set at 5 o'clock in the afternoon of Thursday. I think it's too long. I think it should be amended, and I propose that we make it at 12 noon of Friday, following or prior to the holding of the next regular session, so that we should amend the rules so that it will be straightened into the record that all matters be submitted on or before 12 o'clock of Friday, so that it will be included in the calendar of business. Of course, with the exception of certain matters, matters which are urgent, duly certified by the mayor, and the matters which, on which the two-thirds vote of the majority of the Sangguniang Panlungsod members will include as urgent matters in the regular session.
Okay, noted. Any second to the motion for the approval of the order of business? Noted. Seconded by Honorable Vidal Castillo and Honorable Rosales. The order of business with the inclusion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Next item, please.
Previous session. Minutes of the third regular session of the 14th Sangguniang Panlungsod held on July 19, 2022.
Mr. Presiding Officer,
Yes,
I
Honorable Del
move to
Castillo.
dispense with the reading of the minutes of the third regular session of the 14th Sangguniang Panlungsod and move for its approval.
Any second? Any objection? Hearing none, the minutes of the third regular session of the 14th Sangguniang Panlungsod held on July 19, 2022 is approved. Next item, please.
Special business order. Proposed resolution authored by Honorable Jose C. Ranyola authorizing the City Mayor to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the Department of Health, Bicol Center for Health Development for the release and utilization of funds to the Naga City Hospital Molecular Laboratory as one of the selected DOH COVID-19 licensed laboratories.
I recognize the Honorable Ranyola.
This is about the molecular laboratory that will be donated to the Naga City Hospital. So may I move to pass a resolution authorizing His Honor the Mayor to enter into a memorandum agreement with the Department of Health Center for Health Development for the release and utilization of funds to the Naga City Hospital for molecular laboratory as one of the selected DOH COVID-19 licensed laboratory. I so move.
Any second? The motion duly seconded is approved. Next item, please.
Proposed resolution authored by City Youth Councilor Maria Jesaniel Buena, sponsored by Honorable Jose C. Ranyola, earnestly requesting residents of Naga City to have a COVID-19 booster shot before the celebration of Peña Francia Festival.
The Honorable Ranyola is recognized. Yes, I recognize the Honorable Del Castillo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Though I see the objective of this proposed resolution, but I think we can just do it by a massive information campaign encouraging Naga City residents to have a jab for COVID-19. I think a resolution is, for me, is unnecessary. It's just a matter of massive dissemination, information dissemination to the public, encouraging our residents to have their COVID-19 vaccination, whether it is the first or second dose or the booster shot, first and second booster shot. So that's my position. Thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable Ranyola. The Chair recognizes Honorable Perez.
Chairman, to me, it would matter kung may resolution na araw kay NIO encouraging the residents to have this COVID-19 booster. As I also take note that we should appreciate that the initiative comes from the youth sector mostly, and this is one big encouragement or inspiration that the rest of the population should heed such requests, especially that the request is being made formally by our city youth officials and those from the youth sector.
Thank you, Honorable.
May bearing yan kung ang youth mismo ang nanginginutan sa araw kay nihong inisyatibo, sa araw kay ning interest na magkaiwa kita ning booster shots, because we will be celebrating the Peña Francia Fiesta na kung saan kadakon na tao ang maabot igdi sa satuyang lugar. And of course, kay puan si massive information campaign that should amplify such call. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Perez. The Chair recognizes Honorable Rosales, then Honorable Del Rosario.
I support this resolution, Mr. Chair. Kaya lang may gusto akong i-propose na additional sa resolutory clause. Garo kaya kulang kung mapasara lang kitang resolution requesting the residents of Naga. Siguro, can we show the resolutory clause? And so sa resolutory clause kaya, Mr. Chair, be it resolved that it is hereby resolved to earnestly request the residents. Siguro we could add, resolve further that the City Events Protocol and Public Information Office and in coordination with the barangays, is hereby further directed to strengthen efforts or campaign efforts for information dissemination to promote or encourage residents of Naga to have their booster shots. That's my proposal, Mr. Chair. I so move.
Thank you, Honorable Rosales. Is the proponent agreeable to the proposal of the Honorable Rosales?
I'm amenable, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Ranyola. The Chair recognizes Honorable Del Rosario.
Yes, Mr. Chair. The same observation with Attorney Uying Rosales. That's also my concern, the call to action. Also, Mr. Chair, I would like to thank the other, yung co-authors, team, yung co-authors. And we thank them for their still active involvement sa legislation sa Naga, Sanggunian. Honorable Maria Sherin Luila Bayrante, Honorable Marie Flor Barde, Honorable Rosette Erica Benito, Honorable Shane Bea Brasil, Honorable Tricia May Morata, and my former counterpart, Honorable Francine Mahel Papa. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Honorable Del Rosario. The Chair acknowledges the presence of SK Federation Chair, Councilor Mary Kylie Tripolca. So, any motion to any second to the motion? The motion duly seconded is approved, and we direct the Secretariat to provide copies to the CEPPIO and the 27 barangays for their information and dissemination. Yes, Honorable Del Castillo. Okay. Honorable Del Castillo is abstaining, so the vote is 10-1. There's no objection. Yes. Just some of this abstention. Okay, that's noted. Next item, please.
The proposed resolution of Honorable Del Rosario.
Honorable De Rosario is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The People's Law Enforcement Board hears and decides cases filed against hearing policemen. Every LGU in the country has this mechanism. In our case, and in the case of other LGUs, is the Sanggunian sends a representative as yung chair ng Committee on Peace and Order of the Sangguniang Panlungsod. So, to constitute a quorum sa pag-perform in the cantas nila. So, on joint collective motion, Mr. Chair, we designate City Councilor Melvin Omar Benape as the Sangguniang Panlungsod's representative to the People's Law Enforcement Board of Naga City.
There's a motion to approve a resolution designating the chairman of the Peace and Order Committee as member of the People's Law Enforcement Board. Any second? This is a joint and collective motion. It's approved. Next item, please.
Unfinished business. Committee report of the Committee on Housing and Settlement dated July 27, 2022.
May I recognize the Honorable President of the Philippine Councilors League Naga Chapter, Honorable Del Rosario, to take my place as I render my report.
Thank you, Mr. Acting Presiding Officer, Councilor Jesse Alpios. Please proceed.
Good morning. May I request acknowledgement of the report of the Committee on Housing and Settlement.
Your report is acknowledged.
The committee hearing was held on July 27, 2022. There was a quorum and only two matters were tackled. The first item is a letter dated June 17, 2022 of the HSDO head referring the Mabolo Home Subdivision Homeowners Association requesting the amount of 493,000 pesos as financial loan assistance to cover the cost of subdivision survey being conducted at Mabolo Home Subdivision Socialized Housing Project chargeable against the fund from the National Housing Authority. May I proceed to the disposition, Mr. Chair?
Please proceed.
On motion of the Honorable Salvador M. Del Castillo, duly seconded by Honorable Vidal P. Castillo and Mr. Danilo Lodovice, the committee resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod the passage of a resolution authorizing the city mayor to enter into a loan agreement with the Mabolo Home Subdivision Homeowners Association for a financial loan to cover the cost of the subdivision survey in the amount of 493,000. So I move, Mr. Chair.
As moved and seconded, any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Second item is letter dated July 18, 2022 of His Honor, the City Mayor, requesting for the passage of a resolution granting him authority to negotiate and discuss with Ms. Euphemia Satin and Ms. Constancia Cueto, represented by Ms. Asuncion Joaquin, relative to the acquisition of their property located at Barangay San Felipe, Naga City. May I proceed to the disposition, Mr. Chair?
Please proceed.
Considering that the matter was duly disposed in the fourth regular session, the committee resolved to treat the matter as smooth and academic. So I move, Mr. Chair.
So
That ends my report.
treat the matter as moot and academic.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I again relinquish the chair. Pwede Councilor Abuse na
Next item, please.
Agriculture for the hearing dated July 28, 2022.
The Honorable Benafe is recognized.
This is the Committee on Agriculture committee hearing report conducted July 28, 2022. It started at 1:15 p.m. at the Sangguniang Panlungsod conference room. There was a quorum. Request to be acknowledged, Mr. Chair.
The report is acknowledged.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There are three items in this report. The first item is the first endorsement dated June 28, 2022 of Ms. Maria Emily T. Galgal, the President of the Independent Component City Agriculture and Fishery Council, ICC AFC, which was, the letter was endorsed to Honorable Salvador Del Castillo, the previous committee chair on agriculture. This letter is recommending the letter recommends that a resolution be passed recommending the LGU correction, Your Honor, Mr. Chair. There was a resolution passed by the ICC AFC recommending to LGU Naga to establish a viable structure for consolidating produce of the HBC or high value crop farmers of Naga City by establishing Naga City Farmers Food Terminal at third floor Naga City People's Mall and to allocate startup capital amounting to 300,000 pesos thereof. During the discussion, Mr. Frank Mendoza informed the body that the high-value clubs farmers of Naga City have already established the Naga City Farmers Food Terminal at the third floor of the Naga City People's Mall last June 28, 2022. And they already provided them with some space for the display of their goods. There was a thorough discussion regarding the organization and also the funds to be utilized by the organization. Permission to proceed to the disposition, Mr.
Please
Chair.
proceed.
On motion of Honorable Del Castillo, seconded by Honorable Antonio Beltran, Honorable Joselito Del Rosario, and Honorable Vidal Castillo, the committee resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod to enact ordinance reverting the amount of 300,000 pesos for the Rice Processing Center Fund to grant the said loan window to the Independent Component City Agricultural and Fishery Council, or ICC-AFC Naga City, bearing non-interest loan during its first year of operation for them to establish the Naga City Farmers Food Terminal at the third floor of Naga City People's Mall. So moved, Mr. Chair.
Any second? The motion duly seconded is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Second item, the letter dated July 18, 2022 of Mr. Francisco M. Mendoza, the acting city agriculturist, requesting for the passage of a resolution authorizing the city mayor to enter into the memorandum of agreement with the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources of the Department of Agriculture in connection with their Balik Sigla sa Ilog at Lawa project. During the committee hearing, the representative of BFAR presented the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Basil Program, and a thorough discussion was conducted on the matter, participated also by the proponents and the endorsers of the program, that is Mr. Frank Mendoza of the City Agriculture Office. Request to proceed to the disposition, Mr. Chairman.
Please proceed.
On motion of Honorable Joselito Del Rosario, seconded by Honorable Antonio Beltran, the committee resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod to pass a resolution authorizing His Honor, the City Mayor, to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources of the Department of Agriculture in connection with their Balik Sigla sa Ilog at Lawa project in our Bicol River or Naga River. So moved, Mr. Chair.
Any second? The motion duly seconded. The resolution is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the third item, a letter dated June 7, 2022 of Dr. Junius J. Elad Jr., City Veterinarian, forwarding a copy of sample ordinance from the Department of Agriculture that may be used as reference in the preparation of the Naga City Babay ASF ordinance. During the committee hearing, Mr. Buboy Halcon informed the body that the said ordinance is one of the requirements of the Department of Agriculture so that the city of Naga can be declared as ASF-free city. Not only that this can become our guide in cases there is a recurrence of ASF in our area. However, according to Honorable Del Castillo, we can declare Naga City as ASF free even without the ordinance, since it's been 1 year now that we have no report of ASF in the city. However, the city veterinary representative said that it's not easy just to declare the place as ASF free because we still have to submit some requirements at the Department of Agriculture for us to be given a certificate of being ASF free area. And so there was a lengthy discussion on the matter. Request to proceed to the disposition, Mr. Chairman.
Please proceed.
On motion of Honorable Joselito del Rosario, seconded by Honorable Antonio Beltran, Honorable Vidal Castillo, and Honorable Salvador del Castillo, the committee resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod to return back the proposal to the proponent, City Veterinary Office, and for them to draft the necessary and appropriate ordinance taking into consideration the present status of the City of Naga regarding ASF. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
The motion duly seconded is approved and directed the SP Secretariat to return back the proposal to the City Veterinary Office to draft the necessary and appropriate ordinance taking into consideration the present condition of the Naga City of Naga, especially on ASF matters.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That ends my report.
Thank you, Honorable Benape. Next item, please.
Committee report of the Committee on Games and Amusement for the hearing dated July 28, 2022.
The Honorable Ranyola, as the committee chair of the Committee on Games and Amusement, is recognized.
Request for the acknowledgement of this.
The report is acknowledged.
This was conducted last July 28, and there was a quorum, Mr. Chair. There's only one topic discussed. Letter dated July 20, 2022 of Mr. Robert Aranja, Operator ANG Amusement Center, applying for a permit to put up ANG Amusement Grand Carnival on a vacant lot in front of LCC Mall, Naga, starting August 25 to September 24. May I proceed to the disposition, Madam Chair?
Please proceed.
Ay, Mr. Chair. On motion of Honorable Melvin Ramon Buenafe, seconded by Honorable Antonio Beltran, the committee resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod to pass a resolution approving the application of Mr. Robert Arandia, Operator ANG Amusement Center, for a permit to operate the AG Amusement Grand Carnival on a vacant lot in front of LCC Mall, Naga, starting August 25 to September 24, 2022, subject to the compliance of necessary documents and payment of the fees. I so move, Madam Chair.
Any second? Motion duly seconded. The resolution is approved.
Thank you. That ends my report.
Thank you, Honorable Ranyola. Next item, please.
Committee report of the Committee on Education dated July 27, 2022.
The Honorable Chair of the Committee on Education, Honorable Del Rosario, is recognized.
Good morning again, Mr. Chair. There was a quorum. The committee hearing was held 27 July 2022. Only one item was discussed, Mr. Chair. May I request acknowledgement of my report.
The report is acknowledged.
The proposed ordinance authored by City Youth Councilors Marie Flor B. Barde and Maria Sherin Luila B. Bayrante, and sponsored by City Councilor the Honorable Hilda Gail R. Abonal Gomez, entitled An Ordinance Granting scholarship benefit to the Naga City officials during their term of office. May I go to the disposition, Mr. Chair?
Please proceed.
There was indeed a lengthy discussion on the matter. This was taken. The proponents tried to persuade the committee that their proposed legislation is worthy of due acknowledgement of the plenary. However, we see some items na are incompatible with existing ordinances of the city. Number two, we have to look for other areas na wherein we can improve the scholarship program, notwithstanding the existence of other ordinances pertaining thereto. We commend the Honorable Abunal for also taking care of the proposed resolution. Yun po ni si resolution kan si mga akin. However, the disposition, Mr. Chair, we will return the matter to the proponents, and we resolve to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod also that we direct the Education, Scholarships and Sports Office, the ESO, to submit to the SP the data on the number and amount of scholarships awarded, the number of scholars, and the amount spent by the city starting from year 2019 to 2022. So that's the two disposition, Mr. Chair. I so move, Mr. Chair.
And a second, the motion duly seconded. The motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The SP Secretariat is so directed. Thank you, Honorable Del Rosario. Next item, please.
Comments submitted by the Jesse M. Robredo Good Governance Center through Mr. Rayan Cedric G. Rentoy, Executive Director, on the proposed ordinance establishing a civil society organization desk at the JMR GGC.
The Honorable Rosales is recognized.
Spending, Mr. Chair, with the Committee on Laws and Ordinances. In the last disposition of the said committee, we requested the JMR Center for Good Governance, the NCPC, and the what else?
Desk.
At least 3 committees. The CSO desk to submit their comments for consolidation pa po. And they're the first one to submit their comment. So it's pending with the Laws and Ordinances Committee.
So we refer this one to the Committee on Laws and Ordinances. Next item, please.
Letter dated July 22, 2022 of the Acting General Manager of the Metro Naga Water District, extending appreciation in bringing to their attention the complaints received by the Sangguniang on their poor water supply service and reassuring that their agency is addressing the issue.
This is noted. Next item, please.
Letter dated July 2 of Mr. Precioso Cornejo, NCEPE TODA President, following up their request for Trimobile franchise.
Committee on Transport. Next item.
Committee report of the Committee on Infrastructure.
The Chair of the Committee on Infrastructure is recognized, Honorable Vidal Castillo.
Sir Chairman, may I request acknowledgement of my committee report?
The report is acknowledged.
The Committee on Infrastructure conducted a committee hearing yesterday afternoon. Pagkatapos lang kan sa tuyang PCL election, ang Committee on Infra nag-conduct ng on-site inspection kay itong duwang nag-request bili sa tuyang agenda. Yesterday afternoon, the Committee on Infrastructure conducted the committee hearing, and there was a quorum. The Vice Chairman of the Committee of Infra, Kagawa Joe Perez, is present yesterday afternoon. The members, Kagawa Lito de Rosario, present. Kagawa CPA lawyer, Attorney Salvador del Castillo, present yesterday afternoon. And also the representative from the NCPC, Jose Binancio Severo, present. And there was a plenty discussion, Madam Chairman, Mr. Chairman, yesterday. And there were only 2 items taken up in the committee hearing. The first item, Mr. Chairman, letter dated June 13, 2022, of Miss Beta de Ricaprenti. Miss ito? Subdivision, resident, Jimenez Park. Homeowners, Jimo Puda, requesting for the construction of a drainage along Bacolod Street, Jimenez Park Subdivision, Naga City. Okay. Mr. Chairman, may I go directly to the disposition?
Please proceed.
On motion of Honorable Joselito S.A. del Rosario, duly seconded, the committee resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod to endorse the matter to the city mayor for necessary funding for the next year. But if there is an available fund, the request can be acted upon. So I move, Madam Chair.
Any second? The motion duly seconded is approved.
Okay. Yesterday afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Kagawad, our Kagawad Corazon Peñaflor is also present. Sorry, Kagawad. The
Noted.
next item, Mr. Chairman, letter dated June 28, 2022, of Mrs. Emilia del Castillo. Emilia del Castillo, requesting for the construction of road for the use of everyone. Ini pong Emilia del Castillo kay base sa Yantugang, ini po mga relative ni Attorney del Castillo. I'm just wondering why even the requesting party are relative of Attorney del Castillo, but still Attorney del Castillo is standing on his principle. May I go directly, Mr. Chairman, to the disposition?
Please proceed.
On motion of Honorable Salvador M. del Castillo, seconded by Honorable Joselito del Rosario, the committee resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod to refer the matter to the City Assessor's Office to know who owns the property for the road construction, and for the City Engineer Office to know the length and width of the road and how much funding is needed. Ano pong sabi ni Leo? I-translate ko po sa Bicol. I-repair pa da ang matter sa City Assessor's Office. Ngayon sa dirin tao na, pag-repair pagyara sa City Assessor's Office. Na maaraman kung si Sayda ang may sa diri ka ito. Pero po, bakit itong hinapot ko po itong nag-request na mga Del Castillo, 50 taon na pa ito para agi duman, tinampo na pa ito, wala yun na panahon na. Nasinda nag-request na kung pwede ipakonstruct na ito. Kalagad, iyan po ang disposition kasi magigibo. Asin po, pigmamandahan ang City Engineer Office na ramon ang laba asin lakbang katong tinampo tanganing aramon kung pira ang magiging kantidad. Ini po ang disposition. Kaya sa tuya po, digdi sa maski po mga sadiring taho, minatindog pagyala kita kung ari ang tama digdi sa tuya. So, thank you very much, Attorney Del Castillo. So, Mr. Chairman, I move for this disposition.
Any second?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's end my report.
The motion duly seconded is approved and directed the SP Secretariat as to the disposition. Thank you, Honorable Honorable Castillo. Next item, please.
Committee report of the Committee on Transport.
The Honorable Benape is recognized.
This is the Committee on Transport report. Committee hearing conducted on July 27, 2022, and it was convened at exactly 8:05 in the morning, and there was a quorum. Request acknowledge the report, Mr. Chair.
The report is acknowledged.
There are 7 items in this committee report, and 2 of which were added by in the motion of Honorable Joselito del Rosario for the inclusion of the 2 other items. May I proceed in the first item?
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item number 1, first endorsement dated July 27, 2022 of the head Trimobile Task Force forwarding the application for the transfer of Trimobile franchise to a relative. That is from Chaisi, Mr. Benjamin Ofimaria, to transferee Marites P. Ofimaria. May I proceed to the disposition, Mr. Chair?
Please proceed.
Considering the absence of the applicant, this matter is hereby deferred. So move, Mr. Chair.
The items.
For item number 2, undated letter of Mr. Glenn O. Codillo, President of PATDOA, endorsing the application for special Trimobile franchise of Mr. Vicente E. Pastor of Urban Pacol, Naga City. Mr. Glenn Codillo, President of PATDOA, informed the body that there was 2 vacant slots for PATDOA and around 15 applicants signified their intention to apply from that list. Mr. Vicente E. Pastor was in the number 1 among them. Mr. Codillo said that he can vouch to this endorsement for Mr. Vicente E. Pastor. May I proceed to the disposition, Mr. Chair?
Please proceed.
Finding all the documents to be complete and in order, and that the transfer of the Trimobile franchise was allowed under the existing city ordinance, on motion of Honorable Joselito del Rosario, seconded by Honorable Jesse Albios and Mr. Domingo Porlahe, the committee resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod to pass a resolution approving the application of Mr. Vicente E. Pastor of Block 25, Lot 6, Green Valley Subdivision, Barangay Pacol, Naga City, for 1 unit of special Trimobile franchise, color orange, plying in Barangay Pacol City, subject to the completion of the requirements and payment of the prescribed fees. So move, Mr. Chair.
Any second?
Thank you,
Motion
Mr. Chair.
duly seconded
Item
is
number.
approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item number 3, undated letter of Mr. Glenn Codillo, President of PATDOA, endorsing the application of a special Trimobile franchise of Mr. Ryan T. Benosa of Zone 3, Sitio Almeida, Pacol, Naga City. Mr. Codillo confirmed that Mr. Ryan Binosa was also among the top 2 in the list of the applicants, and therefore he endorsed his application for the special Trimobile franchise to apply in Barangay Pacol, this city. Request to proceed to the disposition, Mr. Chair.
Please proceed.
Finding all the documents to be complete and in order that transfer of the Trimobile franchise was allowed under the existing city ordinance. On motion of Honorable Joselito del Rosario, seconded by Honorable Jesse Albios and Mr. Domingo Porlahe, the committee resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod to pass a resolution approving the application of Mr. Ryan Binosa of Zone 3, Almeida, Pacol, Naga City for 1 unit of special Trimobile franchise, color orange, applying in Barangay Pacol, this city, subject to the completion of the requirements and payment of the prescribed fees. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Any second? The motion duly seconded. The resolution is approved. Next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item number 4, letter dated May 12, 2022 of Miss Karen C. Silot, Block 4, Lot 29, Consuelo Heights Subdivision, Madrigal Phase 2, Naga City, applying for Trimobile franchise. May I proceed to the disposition, Mr. Chair?
Please proceed.
Considering the absence of the applicant during the hearing, this matter is hereby deferred. So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second. The matter is deferred.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item number 5, first endorsement dated July 18, 2022 of the head Trimobile Task Force forwarding the application for the transfer of Trimobile franchise to relative. That is from franchisee Bernardo T. Moral to transferee Joseph B. Moral. This is a father and son relationship, Mr. Chair. May I proceed to the disposition, Mr. Chair?
Please proceed.
Finding all the documents to be complete and in order, and that the transfer of the Trimobile franchise is allowed under the existing city ordinance. On motion of Honorable Salvador M. Del Castillo, seconded by Honorable Jesse Albios and Honorable Joselito del Rosario, the committee resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod to pass a resolution approving the application of Joseph B. Moral of Zone 7, Block 9, Lot 24, San Felipe, Deca Homes, Naga City for the transfer of 1 unit E-Trike with sidecar number ET005 from his father Bernardo Moral to Joseph B. Moral, his son, subject to the completion of the requirements and payment of the prescribed fees under City Ordinance number 2007-024. So moved, Mr. Chair.
Any second? The motion duly seconded. The resolution mentioned is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item number 6, first endorsement dated July 20, 2022 of the head Trimobile Task Force forwarding the application for the transfer of Trimobile franchise to relative Edita O. Panoncio to Salde O. Panoncio Jr. This is a mother and son relationship. May I proceed to the disposition, Mr. Chair?
Please proceed.
Upon perusal and evaluation of the documents submitted, Honorable Del Castillo found out that the attached barangay captain certificate is unsigned. Then, on motion of Honorable Salvador Del Castillo, seconded by Honorable Jesse Albios and Honorable Joselito del Rosario, the committee resolved to return back the application to the herein applicant, Mr. Salde O. Panoncio Jr. for completion of the documents. Meantime, this matter is hereby deferred. So moved, Mr. Chair.
The motion duly seconded. The application is deferred.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Last item, item number 7, letter dated July 2 of Mr. Precioso Cornejo, the NCE Petoda President, requesting an update of the application of their 15 members who would like to avail of the franchise from the City Government of Naga. Mr. Precioso Cornejo informed the body that last year there were already 9 units of e-trikes approved by the Sangguniang Panlungsod, and there are still 15 more units awaiting for the Sangguniang Panlungsod approval. There was a thorough discussion on this matter, whereby, among others, Honorable Jesse Albios suggested that the committee should request from the Trimobile Task Force to submit an updated inventory of all existing franchises and units, so that from the list to be provided, the Sangguniang Panlungsod can determine whether there are still vacant slots or none. Likewise, Honorable Del Rosario further suggested that there must be a separate inventory for the e-trikes and the regular trimobiles, so that we can easily determine the slots available. May I proceed to the disposition, Mr. Chairman?
Please proceed.
On motion of Honorable Jesse Albios, seconded by Honorable Joselito Del Rosario, the committee resolved to recommend to the Sangguniang Panlungsod to direct the Trimobile Task Force to submit within 7 days from receipt of the notice the updated inventory of all existing e-trikes and regular trimobiles, and indicate whether the same are already expired, impounded, abandoned, etc. In the meantime, this request is noted by the body. Mr. Precioso Cornejo will just be updated every now and then of the status of this request. Furthermore, the committee will thoroughly conduct a study on the matter. So move, Mr. Chair.
And a second, the motion duly seconded. The SP is directing the task force tricycle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This ends my Committee on Transport report.
Thank you, Honorable Benape. Next item, please.
New business.
Yes, Honorable Del Castillo.
The matter pertaining to the amendment of our rules of procedure, particularly number 1 of Rule 8.
Okay, Rule 8,
Rule 8,
preparation of the
as to
item
the
1.
cut-off time for submission of all matters to be included in the calendar of it.
So the recommendation of the
Yes.
Chair of the Committee on Rules.
I move, Mr. Chair, that we amend that provision from Thursday, 5 p.m. of Thursday to 12 noon of Friday, following the day following the regular session of the Sangguniang Panlungsod.
Any second?
On joint and collective motion, Mr. Chair.
On joint and collective motion.
Joint and collective motion.
It's approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Honorable Del Rosario.
Mr. Chair, may I request that the Chair of the Committee on Rules also consider yung mga committee hearing ng Friday afternoon. Then kung matapos tulos kang secretariat, maibali sa agenda. Kasi may mga committees kita, Mr. Chair, na Friday, yung Friday morning baka pwedeng maihabol eh. Pero yung Friday 1 p.m., 3 p.m., normally natapos ang 4 o'clock. So kung mabilis ang secretariat, nakagibo tulos. So baka pwedeng 5 p.m. of Friday, Mr. Chair.
Yes, the Honorable Del Castillo.
With regard to the request of the Honorable De Rosario, as we have done today, pag mga committee reports, Mr. Chair, we accommodated those reports because we understand the that it should be acted upon by the Sangguniang Panlungsod. So there's no problem with committee reports, Mr. Chair. Even if it is received on the day of the regular session, so long as it is a committee report, we will accommodate it. Inclusive lang yan, Mr. Chair, or
Committee report.
exclusive rather, para sa mga committee report. Aramtaman ang sitwasyon. So that will be an exception to the rule.
So there's no more need to amend the time.
No, there is, Mr. Chair, dahil Thursday ang nakabugta kaya dyan. Thursday.
So, ang pikakat ko kata, Mr. Chair, instead of 12 noon, gibon giraray 5 o'clock.
And then,
Instead of 12 noon of Friday,
Friday,
the deadline should be at 5 p.m.
5 p.m. Friday.
Friday. Baka pwede man, Mr. Chair, ang
there is a difficulty, Mr. Chair, because we will be preparing the calendar of business. So,
mahigos, Mr. Chair, ang chairman kang Committee on Rules eh. Mahiguson na pag Friday aga, yao na igdi. Ugto, hindi na nga nagungut ko minsan eh. Oo. Kaya sa iling ko, yung hapon na spend niya, kasi kadakol siyang kaulay sa opisina, saka sa cellphone, mahiguson. Kaya sa iling ko, pwede man, Mr. Chair, na ano.
The Honorable Perez is recognized first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pigsabi naman po kang chairman ng Committee on Rules na exception ini yung committee reports. So dahil naman kay puha na sanglianta pa itong 5 p.m. ay 5 a.m. ning 12 noon so Friday na hanggang 5 p.m. Dahil sabi niya nga ni he can accommodate even after the deadline only for committee report.
Committee report.
In fact, ginibo na niya nga ni unya na Monday. Pig-ako niya. So, mayon ang problema. Kaya dahil nakaipuan ni amen yan. Because pag inamenta yan, masasakop itong non-committee reports. Na yun na nga ni ang ma-delay. Iyo, kung ang deadline mo 5 p.m., di gusto sabihin, he is obliged to accommodate any other kind of business until 5 p.m. Baka masakit naman yan sa iya. Tapig papakaray niya man ang agenda. Ang exception niya lang, ini yung committee reports. Kaya, okay na garo yan, okay sa iya eh. May problema.
Actually, Mr. Chair, sa kuya may problema yan, but we should also take into consideration the secretariat who is preparing the calendar of business. So that's why I'm proposing na instead of Thursday 5 o'clock in the afternoon, isi-atrasta sa 12 o'clock Friday. But as far as committee report is concerned, we will accommodate it like today. Aram taman si importansya kan mga committee report, Mr. Chair. So, but all other matters should be submitted on or before 12 noon of Friday.
Okay na ba kaya?
Okay.
Besides, ang committee report baga, pinapapirmahan pa man sa ibang members. Mabasa pa man kami kayan bago kami mapirma. And ang okay lang baga, it's also logical na kung ang meeting mo Friday, pwedeng next session ka because ito nga ning Monday, it has 5 days, 1 week to do it before the next session comes. Di pa rin mga itong nag-meet kang Friday, mahalat ka man 1 week on a natural course. Pero kung ready naman lang na ang Friday or even on the session day, okay yan sa chairman, kaya may garong problema. That's fine.
And I'm referring, Mr. Chair, to matters other than committee report. As I mentioned, pag committee reports, we accommodate it like what we did today.
Yes, the chair.
Ang piglili kayan talang, Mr. Chair, na igwa pang mga matters outside of the office of the Sangguniang Panlungsod na maralaog na pag daytime big amen, we are obliged to accommodate it.
The Honorable De Rosario is recognized.
Ako kaya, Mr. Chair, ibang school of thought ko, kita kaya deliberative body. Deliberative collective body. So any matter na ilaog sa tuya ngunyan, whether nagsunod kita sa deadline or i-deliberate ta yan. Kaya ako may mantanto sa ang mga deadline eh. Ang ano ko lang is, for example, ang committee report, mabig ka pa na i-include sa agenda. So kung araw na kayan, may categorical statement na ang chairman kang rules, so no need na. Automatic, isasabi kang secretariat sa chairman on rules, dahil na matindog ang chairman na i-include sa agenda. Kung araw yan kayan, di mas okay. So, halimbawa ako nag-committee hearing akong Friday, dahil ako kay Pon magparamadali. The secretariat will endorse the same to the, even without me seeing the draft of the report. Okay yun sa kuya, Mr.
Yes, Honorable Del Castillo.
Kay Pon tayo, Mr. i-clarify, kasi halimbawa ako, nag-travel ako, nag-committee hearing ako ng Friday afternoon. Then I asked the secretariat, after our meeting, please see to it na isubmit na yan sa for inclusion sa Mayo na kung time na mag-scroll pa, na kung time na mag and I was expecting nakabali yan sa then all of a sudden, dahil kabali sa session. So kung araw ka yan, ibugtak na sa rules, na all committee hearings conducted, even Friday afternoon or Monday, kabali na ngunyan sa, even without the chair of the committee, of that particular committee, asking for its inclusion during the regular session. So that's good, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Honorable Del Castillo.
It is common sense that the report should be signed at least by the chairman and received by the Sangguniang Secretariat. Otherwise, how could we include that in the calendar of business? And it is also the responsibility of the chair of the committee to review the committee report. Baka may mga sala naman sa committee report. So, masakit man i-accommodate ang Mr. Chair kung dahil pangani pirmado kan chair kan committee. I think superfluous naman na dahil pangani pirmado kan chair mga committee, dahil pangani receive kan secretariat, i-include na yan. What we are referring to are reports signed by at least the chair of the committee and duly received by the secretariat.
So, yes, Honorable Del Rosario.
Chair, na we have full trust and confidence sa secretariat na yung sinusulat nila are what transpired during the we have been trusted to them. We have full trust and confidence. Kaya lang minsan ini-edit talaga. Kaya lang may kitang time para basa saro-saro, Mr. Chair. Kaya ako man minsan, Mr. Chair, ang binabasa ko na lang si disposition, then okay na yan, ibali na sa agenda even without me signing it. Ko yan. Minsan bagaya o nakita igdiyo, nagpapapirma pa ning agenda. Ang talang, Mr. makabali sa kuyan sa session.
Yes, Honorable Perez, then Honorable Tripulca.
Sa kuya magayad, Mr. Chairman, it's not a matter of may trust kita sa Secretariat. Ang importante, pirmado kang chairman. Otherwise, it is not yet official pag pirmado. Ang chairman man, mapirma yan pag nahiling ang areglado na. Kung may diferensya, dahil yan pipirmahan. Yun nga, unless na pirmado niya yan, that's the only time that it can be considered as an official document na pwede na ikalendaryo kang committee. Kung papabayaan talang araw kayan, baka maging magsariring disposition ang secretariat. And, well, it's not even proper dahil nga ni kung dahil pirmado, it's not an official document, as I've said, na dahil pwedeng aksyonan also officially. Kaya, si tama manggiraray na proseso. Anyway, pinapasil na nga ni kan sa tuyang chairman. And that's good enough. Ang importante lang, dahil malampasan itong what is official and what is not. Saka itong tamang procedure. Tamis kay accommodation yan, dapat mag-agi manggiraray sa tamang procedure.
Thank you, Honorable Perez. The Chair recognizes Honorable Tripulca.
Chair, ang sa kuya man po is for an alternative proposal na i-specify ta po dyan sa satuyang rules itong special consideration ta for that purpose, itong for committee hearings. Dahil ini po bagang rules ta, ini ang susundon ta, tapos di talaga dapat magre-reflect gabos po ning processes na aagihan kang satuya pong sanggunian.
Okay, thank you. Honorable De Rosario.
Last word, Mrs. Chair. I thank the committee chair of the Committee on Rules for clarifying na yung mga committees, committee reports will be included in the agenda. Ano, that's the first time kasi na nadangog ko yan eh. Kasi si mga previous sessions 3 sessions ago, we always stand up and we always ask for the clearance from the chair. So ngunyan, it's a breakthrough na igwaning arog kaya na clarification ng head kang of course responsibility kan chair na ang committee report is kuyan. So kung nagbalato ba sa dyan na dahil niya binasa o dahil responsibility niya. Kasi pag nagtindog sa dyan, iyon ang committee report unless na barion kang other committee members. So that's how we proceed with the disposition, the conduct of disposition, Mr. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable De Rosario. So, with that, the proposed amendment is 12 noon on Friday. And with the categorical statement of the Chair of the Committee on Rules that all committee reports duly signed by the Chairman will be accommodated. So, on joint and collective motion, the proposed amendment is approved. Next item,
Thank you very
please.
much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Del Castillo.
New business. Proposed ordinance authored by Honorable Salvador M. Del Castillo rationalizing the grant of Trimobile franchise, amending for the purpose Section 116 of Ordinance Number 93049 is amended.
Committee on Transport. Next item, please.
Letter dated July 28, 2022 of the Acting City Treasurer requesting for a resolution authorizing the reactivation of the dormant accounts of the City Government of Naga with the City Depository Banks.
Laws and ordinances. Next item, please.
Letter dated July 22, 2022 of Ms. Salvacion Cabase, Zone 4, Triangulo, Naga City, submitting a complaint against Punong Barangay Alan Berizo of the same barangay, duly noted by the City Mayor.
Yes, Honorable Del Castillo.
Calendar of business so that we can advise the complainant to file a verified complaint. We cannot act on unverified complaint. So we should direct our secretary to advise the complainant to file a verified complaint so that the Committee on Blue Ribbon will have jurisdiction on the matter.
So with that, we direct the SP Secretariat to inform the complainant to submit a verified complaint. Next item, please.
Letter dated July 29, 2022 of Isano, the City Mayor, requesting for the passage of an ordinance reverting to an appropriated balance the amount of 2,587,000 from salary savings of various departments and offices, non-local economic
Committee on
enterprises.
Appropriations. Next item, please.
Proposed ordinance authored by Honorable Joselito S. de Rosario, amending certain section of ordinance number 2019-024, otherwise known as the Anti-Sugi or Discrimination Ordinance.
Committee LO. Laws and ordinances. Next item, please.
Letter dated July 26, 2022 of the Punong Barangay of Pacol, requesting for the city government to grant them the authority to manage the satellite market in Pacol.
Yes, Honorable Del Castillo.
Ordinance of the Honorable De Rosario, I think we should refer it jointly with the Committee on Gender and Development. Laws and ordinances together with that committee.
Okay, item number 5 is referred jointly to the Committee on Laws and Ordinances and the Committee on Gender. Number 6, item number 6, letter of Punong Barangay Josue Perez of Barangay Pacol, requesting for the full management of the newly constructed satellite market. We refer this one. Yes, Honorable Del Castillo. Market Affairs and So this is referred jointly to the Committee on City Properties and Committee on Market Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Del Castillo. Next item, please.
Letter dated July 28, 2022 of the Chairperson, Bids and Awards Committee, requesting for the passage of ordinance reverting from the trust fund of the Bids and Awards Committee the amount of 250,000 pesos and appropriating the same in the City Procurement Office for the following expense: office supplies expenses, 250,000 pesos.
Committee on Appropriations. Yes, Honorable Del Castillo.
Ordinance, Mr. Chair. The original ordinance mandated for the creation of the trust fund in the use of the trust of the money under the trust fund. So maybe we can repair it jointly with the Appropriations Committee together with the Committee on Laws and Ordinance.
So the lead committee will be the Committee on Laws and Ordinances,
Yes, thank you, Mr.
LO
Chair.
and APRO. Next item, please.
Letter dated August 1, 2022 of the City Budget Officer requesting for the passage of ordinance authorizing the charging against the current appropriations the amount of 31,064 for the personal services claims of certain government employees.
Committee on Appropriations. Next item, please.
Other matters. Letter dated July 20, 2022 of the Punong Barangay Ronald Lontok of Barangay Libuton, the city, forwarding the Barangay Resolution number 26 and 27, both of series of 2022 for perusal and information.
Noted. Next item, please.
Executive Order number 2022-018 of His Honor the City Mayor, reconstituting the Naga City Peace and Order Council and its Secretariat, as well as defining their composition and functions.
Noted, and this one is referred to the Committee on Peace and Order for the guidance and information. Next item.
Nominal voting.
Yes, Honorable Del Rosario.
Nominal voting, Mr. Chair. Alas 10:20 pa lang. Nag-request ang attention ko, Mr. Chair, katong taga DSIS, Government Service Insurance System. Nag-iigdisinda sa invitation ni Vice Mayor Nene de Asis. Kaya lang, ang sabi ninda, nakalock pa itong mga accounts ng mga government officials sa kasi ibang mga empleyado ng city. So, ang HR, Mr. Chair, asikasuhon na ma-unlock tangarig na maitama na itong mga computation kansi mga accounts na sa DSIS. So, piga-asikaso naman ni Mr. Gisalba. Mabalik sinda, Mr. Chair, next week para duman sa mga bagong city councilors. Then, pag-update man duman sa mga dati ng councilors. So, just for the information of thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Del Rosario. Next item, please.
Nominal voting.
Yes, Honorable Del Castillo.
To transfer all resolutions and ordinances to nominal voting.
Any second?
And move to approve the same.
Any second? The same is approved.
Move to adjourn, Mr. Chair.
Any second? The session is adjourned.